Hiya there. So sorry, it's been a little while since I made a video. Today I'm just here planting out the tomatoes. So it's quite an exciting time of year. Been waiting for this since I took down my tomatoes last year. Really, you can't buy tomatoes in the shops like you can grow them. It's basically just impossible to get them all. They'd be very expensive. So I'm really excited to get these tomatoes in, hoping in a month or two that we'll be able to start picking the first of the Sun Golds, which are quite an early variety. Again, a really tasty cherry tomato and really productive as well. The garden's actually been going quite well. It's really different in here now. You can see I've cleared out most of the salad. I've just left basically the Grenoble red in, that you can see here as well, and the odd thing has been left to flower, so then we can save some seed from it as well. But yeah, it's a really exciting time of year. We've also got some melons and cucumbers to put in. I haven't brought them up with me today. I'm just going to leave them another week, I think. The melons really like warm temperatures, so just gonna leave them a little bit longer and let them grow on in my conservatory at home, where they're getting the warmth that they need. Another thing I need to do is move this path that I'm standing on here. So I've just scraped up all the wood chip. I need to move it over about the distance of the path, so it needs to go over about 30 centimeters. What I stupidly did when I put this laid this polytunnel out is the beds on the edge are 1.2 meters and these ones are 1 meter. It's really difficult to pick all this salad on the far edge. It would be much easier because these beds, I can access them from both sides. So what I'm going to do is just move the path its own width over, so 30 centimeters over, and that way I'll have a single row of tomatoes here, a double row here, and then another single row on the end. So yeah, I also need to put in some wires to hold the tomatoes up. So I've bought myself some fencing wire for that. Just going to string it along the center of these beams, and then get the tomatoes in. I will be planting them with some twine below them and sort of getting that below the root ball, so the roots will root around it and then the tomatoes can climb up the string. So what I'll do today is just bury the twine. I won't tie it up to the strings, to the wire. So we'll just get a load of tomatoes planted. I'm hoping to probably do this center row first. To do this one, I need to take out some plants, and I'm not sure I'm entirely ready to give up these Grenoble red. I had a bit of a nightmare getting the salad going outside, so one bed I planted before I went away to Argentina was just totally wiped out. I came back, and out of sort of 600 odd plants that I planted, there was none left, which is it's a bit disheartening, but it's all right, you know. This Grenoble red will keep cropping indoors up until about June, I think, and it's being super productive. Like, just off these plants I've got, I could probably have about 10 kilos a week. So the mix is going to be a little bit boring because I haven't got anything at the end even, but I've got pea shoots, bean tops, wild rocket outside, so it's still a really nice mix. And then we've got all the other salads that will be ready in a couple of weeks. So maybe this next week is going to be a bit of a boring salad mix. But then following that, we're into our summer stuff. We're also going to be planting basil in here underneath all the tomatoes, lots of marigolds and things to bring in the beneficial predators. So yeah, I'm going to get cracking. So just a little update on where I'm at. I have started moving the path, so I've done this section. I think this is going to have to wait until I can get rid of these Grenoble reds, but I might take the odd plant out just to put these tomatoes in there. I've also added in these wires to support the tomatoes. I've still got one more to do on this side and on the other side, and they need a little bit more securing, but they're in place for now, which is good. These are my tomatoes. So these are actually a mixture. So here we got Blue Beauty and Ruthie. Blue Beauty's like a sort of larger beefsteaky type that's got a really nice blue color. Ruthie are sort of classic red salad tomatoes. They've got like a pointed tip to them. They're really beautiful and really tasty and quite productive as well. And then here we've got Sun Gold, which is a really, really good variety, and Gardener's Delight there. And I've got some more in the car, but I don't know if we'll get many more than that in today. It's quite a lot to be getting on with. So yeah, I'm going to crack on and start placing some of these out before I plant them, just so I can get an idea of how it's going to look. So I've now finished planting the tomatoes out. I put in one pepper as well. What you can see I've done is buried the tomato and buried the string underneath it with a little knot tied in it just underneath the root ball. And then I can come and tie these strings up as the tomatoes grow up the string. So yeah, that's how I'm planting my tomatoes out. I've only done these 2 double rows. Hey there. So the last video got cut off because my dad came in to chat to me, and I completely forgot to pick it up and carry on filming. So I've now almost planted out all of the tomatoes. I planted some of the melons. So all I've got left to do is a row of tomatoes here, melons on the end of this row, and then there's going to be a sort of horseshoe shape of cucumbers going around the end. So we've got double rows of tomatoes here. These are Brad's Atomic Grape. You can see I've actually had to sort of tuck them in with the salad. So this is some serious interplanting / relay cropping, because I'm still cropping this lettuce at the moment. So I'll be picking it on Friday and the following Friday, and I think that'll be it. So yeah, all these tomatoes are in. The strings are just lying on the floor for now. It looks a bit of a mess. Also today I put in the irrigation. It doesn't look the prettiest, and they actually didn't send me a piece that I need. It's just a valve that goes on the end of here to actually make it spray, so they're just pouring onto the floor at the moment, so I just had to water with the hose pipe. But I phoned up First Tunnels and let them know that was missing, and they were really, really good about it and just said they will just send me out a replacement, no questions asked. Now I think about it, I feel like I did actually see these parts at some point, and maybe I've lost them. But they were packed separately to what I was looking for anyway. So anyway, yeah, so it's starting to look good in here. Some of these tomatoes are looking a bit down from where I've just got them with the hose, which is not ideal, but these ones that have been in a couple of days are really sort of actually starting to grow quite a lot. There's a couple that I think the cat had pulled out or damaged, and it was quite interesting because I dug them up and replaced them, and it's interesting to see that the roots have actually grown quite a lot in just this short time. I don't know if you can hear that tweeting, but we've got a bit of an issue in here. So these cats like to chill in here, and a blue tit, which you can see is just waiting to come in. Some blue tits have made a nest in here. I don't think you can see them so well. I'll have a look from this end, but the blue tits have made a nest in there, and the cats have realised, and now the cats are sort of sitting below where the nest is, and I'm a bit worried that when the birds fledge, they're just going to get destroyed by the cat. But there's not really anything I can do. I thought about moving it, but I don't know where I could move it to, and these cats are just natural born killers, I'm afraid. Another exciting update is we have now fitted our IBC water tanks. So we got 4,000 litres of water storage here. Today We've managed to collect about 1,200 litres since last night. So yeah, that's pretty good, and it feels quite secure to have all that in place. And the garden out here is everything's growing a lot. I need to come in and take these mustards out. I'm just waiting until I've decided what I'm going to plant in there afterwards. The garlic is really starting to get ready. These little currants on the end are doing all right. I did manage to get one of the edges done, although the grass has grown up, so you can't really appreciate it. But I will be working to do this one, basically edge the whole plot all the way around, just to keep it looking tidy. As you can see, bindweed is growing quite a lot. I'm not too worried. I'm pretty much on top of it. There's a few bits out here, but it'll only take me an hour or so to whip round and take them out. This lettuce has not done very well at all, but it was just sort of spares that I probably will need, to be honest. But yeah, they haven't done too well. They weren't the healthiest plants when I put them in. They came from the hotel that I'm working at, and they were just rejects, so they weren't the best plants to be putting in. These cabbages and cauliflowers and things, however, are doing quite well. So they're really starting to grow. I haven't got any cover on them at the moment. I have treated them with Bacillus thuringiensis, but that's where they are at the moment. These beetroot are a bit of an odd mix. Some are growing really well, some just haven't really done anything since I put them in. You actually see them starting to form some roots in here, so they will be ready to harvest soon. I've got a couple more trays of different varieties on the go as well, so be able to keep them going. The onions are looking really good. Again, I need to get into here and weed, but yeah, they're all really starting to grow now. I'll be taking spring onions in the next week or two. Broad beans we've been taking for tops. Peas, again, we've been taking them for the shoots. These potatoes over here are doing quite well. They were looking a little bit dry, but now that we've had this rain, they've sort of perked up again. So yeah, I sowed some wildflower here, so waiting for that to come up. I have made a video on that, which I'm just waiting till I have some results from it to put it together and sort of show the end result. But that's what's going on there. The next step is to put this pond in here, so just speaking to my dad about how big it might be and how many levels we're going to have in it. But that is, there's the blue tit. Off they go to find another worm. Yeah, so that's probably the next big project we're going to tackle. I've actually got a shed that's arrived that I ordered, which I need to put up to wash and pack my salad in, because now it's quite hot. I need a shaded area. And I'll just take you down here just to show you how the things that I planted in one of my videos are getting on. So the currants are pretty stacked. Lots and lots of red currants on there. All of these are pretty much the same story. And again, I need to get in and weed in here. But I think this is the plum. And again, I topped it because I wanted to try and get nice growth up high, which seems to be working. So we can still walk down here nicely. Honeyberry that I put in, which is doing quite well. It's grown quite a lot actually. That one strawberry I put in. Lots of bindweed in here, which I will come and deal with. But the raspberries are taking off. A few of the cuttings that I popped in haven't made it. In fact, I think all of them haven't made it. No, tell a lie. There's a couple. But that's all right. I mean, that was just an experiment really. I also put a couple of blueberries in here, which I actually got them on a deal with the honeyberry for like £10. It was 3 plants, which seems like quite a good deal to me. And I've also put stakes in for these trees because they get a bit battered by the wind. This is all starting to look really sort of wild in here. I need to come and cut the grass and sort of do a bit of maintenance. Yeah, I did put this cherry in, which has been showing these tiny signs of growth that are not really doing anything. But again, I'm just being patient and waiting to see if anything happens with that. I did actually come and put in an apple up here, which has not leafed out at all yet. These were bare root trees from a sort of supermarket. I don't have a lot of faith in them. There's another pair here, the Doyenne du Comice, which is good because it flowers at the same time as the Concord that I've got. So when you have pairs, I think you need 2 that flower. Well, I think 1 is fine, but if you have 2 that flower at the same time, you get much better pollination rates and therefore much better fruit. Anyway, that's all from me. Shout out to anyone who's still watching. Apologies, I haven't put up a video for ages. I was super busy and it's really difficult to sort of find the time to do this or to remember to record something when I'm doing it. But yeah, I hope to have a lot more for you. I hope to be able to show you this kitchen garden I'm building at this hotel because it looks amazing. Yeah, brilliant. Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye.